welcome to the podcast. It's the best podcast in the world. This is going to end up on the show. I know it, motherfucker.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 100 of Epitome of Stupidity, your favorite allegedly metal podcast. Just another 100 episodes, right? Century mark, who gives a shit? Music today brought to us by Abrams, whose new album Blue City just came out, and if you're not listening to it, you're doing it wrong, and you should correct that as soon as this podcast is over. Intro, outro song is one of the singles called Fire Waltz, and you know you want to know more and hear more about a song called fucking Fire Waltz. Who wouldn't? But anyways, per usual, we'll get back to all things Abrams momentarily. If you're new here, welcome in. I'm Clint. I'll be your host. If you're not new here, I'd like to remind you that every time you come back, a demon gets its horns. Returning folks will also know that around here we're fans of drinking better, and I think you should do so by going to brimminghornmeadery.com and picking out some award-winning and delicious mead. Then at checkout, use code EPITOMEAD, that's EPITOMEAD, and get a 10% discount on your order. They'll even ship all that deliciousness right to your door. It's an across-the-board score. There should be a link to their shop in the show description, along with the band and podcast links, so you know where to find it. You've got no excuses. Get drunk better. Currently listening to, I've been on a kind of solid run of newer stuff that's either about to come out or just did come out, like Abrams. And most of the bands on this list are bands that I'm working on having on the show, bands like Huntsman and Thou, both of which have just fucking phenomenal albums getting ready to come out. Hippotractor as well. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be hearing more from them directly before too long. Now that we're through all that, we'll get to the cliff notes on Abrams here. A quick generic comparison, for me at least, would be something like if Torch, ASG, the ambient parts of ISIS or Cult of Luna, and maybe even a little Jack the Bearded Fisherman had an orgy, this would be their very legitimate baby. They've only been around for just over a decade, I think since 2014, 13, something like that. In that time, they've kicked out 5 albums and an EP. This is their second post-COVID album. They put out an album in 2020, another one in 2022, and this one in 2024. So they're not fucking around. They note themselves as being dedicated to compelling songwriting and energetic live performances. I haven't seen them live, but I'll go ahead and second the compelling songwriting part, as well as just some super tasty fucking riffs. Let's maybe not just listen to me fucking ramble and talk with Zach of the band about all these things and maybe some more things. To the dumb fake phone sounds, Batman. Beep, 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 boop. Ring. And he answered. On the line with me today is Zach of Abrams. Zach, how the hell are you today?
I'm good, Clint. I'm doing great, man. Album just dropped today, so it's always a good feeling. And yeah, excited to talk to you.
Fuck yeah, man.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you. You're in Denver, correct?
Correct, yeah. Rocky Mountain.
How's things in Denver?
Denver's good, man. It's finally good weather, you know, Memorial Day weekend, you know, people barbecuing and
I can smell it from here.
Can't complain, man. Can't complain, man.
I believe it. So I like to start these off with just a big generic. What are you listening to lately?
Dude, always a great question. I've been digging into a lot of Albini shit since he passed.
Since he died, yeah.
And you know, so I've been like revisiting a lot of like the PJ Harvey record, the new Shellac record that just came out. Sounds great. Jesus Lizard. But also the new Mets. He didn't do the new one, but he did my favorite one, 2017. But the new Mets that just came out on Sub Pop a couple months ago is really, really good, and that's kind of my jams right now.
Yeah.
So Yeah, man. What about you? Anything good I should be checking out?
I mean, the new Abrams album.
Good answer, man.
This ain't my first rodeo. It's only my second, but still. So you guys, based on Spotify here, you guys put out albums in 20, 22, and 24. So basically a big middle finger to a fucking pandemic. That wasn't going to slow you down, was it?
No, man, that ruined every band, honestly, dude. Yeah. We actually had a couple records before, you know, I think 2015 was our first record, but we really started getting into gear like that 2020 record, like you mentioned. Yeah, that one came out in May, which was like the week the world shut down.
Right.
First week of May, so it just totally screwed us, but we didn't let it stop us. You know, we went straight to writing a new record, you know, put one out in 2022 and 2024 now. So we like the 2-year cycle thing, you know. It's gives us time to write, record, promote, tour. So I'd love to move faster, but you know, sometimes it doesn't work out like that. But 2 years is kind of our thing right now.
Yeah, it seems to work out there. And it's not like, from what I've heard of the damn albums, it's not like the quality's suffering by the 2-year cycle. So I guess I'm going to second the motion here.
There you go. Yeah. We'll take our time with it, I guess.
Sure. So with Blue City just being released today as we're talking, this probably won't be uploaded until Monday or something, but that's stuff that nobody actually cares about but me. With Blue City being released today, what has the reception been so far?
It's been great, man. Seems like a lot of people are digging it. Yeah, it's always release day is a big, you know, just a good feeling. You know, you've been working on something for so long, you know, putting a lot of time, effort, and money into it, and it seems like all the feedback's been pretty positive. So really can't complain, man. People are saying really nice things, and I'm super proud of it. The band's very, very proud of it, and yeah, we're so, you know, proud to just get it out in the world and start, you know, playing it live. So it's like birthing a baby, I guess. Don't have experience with that, but that's what it is to me.
We'll make the assumptions there. The I have kind of the concept for the album in the notes and everything here. And if I were actually good at the things that I do, I'd have a thoughtful question that would lead to you organically answering it. But yeah. I'm not. So instead, I'm going to say all these things and hope that you'll run with it from there and tell us what the album's kind of about.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, lyrically, we never really go in with, like, this is going to be a concept record. But it kind of naturally happens. You know, when I'm writing lyrics, it's pretty, like, one general theme, kind of. I hate to, like, put it out, you know, and saying, like, this is what the record's about, because it's still, it's still, you know, a lot of metaphors in there that can mean something completely different to someone else. But to me, it's a very, like, personal kind of a record that I think can be pretty relatable, you know, to the general public. Kind of like a feeling of just being trapped in the day-to-day routine of you know, just normal life, and you know, that can be a little dangerous, being in that comfort zone where you kind of just get settled in and kind of just forget about progressing yourself personally, artistically, you know, relationship wise, kind of shit like that. And that's the kind of overall concept. Like I said, I hate to, like, put it like this is what the record is about, but, like, people can take it to a whole different personal meaning for them, which I encourage them to do. But that's kind of what it is for me.
Sure. That's and, like, I love those themes and stuff. Like, you know, going into this, I'd read those cliff notes, and I like the idea of it, and kind of wanted to ask more specific questions, but I felt like letting you just kind of generalize it like that would be better. Because I mean, it's so easy to get into a comfort zone. It's so easy to just get into a rut, get into a groove. As a guy who loves a schedule every fucking day of his life, I know this perfectly well. But you know, the counter to that is also, you know, that's just like fucking counting off the days till you die. And
Yeah.
so the idea or the theme kind of resonates with me there. I love the idea.
Cool, man. Yeah. It's always like, you know, like a what if, like what if I did this instead of that?
Right.
You know, it's just always like there's so many different, you know, opportunities, and you make one decision. It's like, oh, what if I did the other thing? Shit. You know, you can do that with like with recording a song. Like, what if I use this pedal instead of that?
Sure.
You know? So it's just like it's just like a huge overarching theme that. I mean, I love routine too. Don't get me wrong, man. Like, you know, the day-to-day job keeps me structured. But you know, when we go on tour, it's like that gets flipped in reverse. It's like, fuck, I love this. Like, you know, this new
This is
lifestyle.
the fucking chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, you know, my schedule goes like the complete opposite. You know, night owl to. You know, I usually get up at like 6 a.m. when I'm home. But yeah, man, it's just the overarching theme, really, you know?
Sure, yeah. What's your favorite song on the album?
Damn, dude. It changes. Right now, I'm really digging the third track, Etherol. Yeah, we've been jamming that one a lot, and excited to get that in the live set going. But I really dig, I think that one and Blue City are my favorite to play. So it's kind of like, you know, that one's fun for me to sing, really. And I don't know, I kind of go off like what I'm really digging into playing when we're rehearsing and shit. So
Sure.
Those two are my favorites right now.
All right.
What about you? What's yours?
Well, I you know, with the modern way of listening to music, where, you know, back in the 90s or whatever, you're looking at CDs or albums or what have you. As I'm listening to albums now, it's whatever's playing, and if it's something that grabs my attention, you pull it up, you look at the damn track title. And I've done that like 3 or 4 times with Death Home. That's so
Nice.
I'm going to go ahead and say that one's my favorite. I also like Blue City a lot, though. That's a really great fucking song. And just kind of the chorus of Turn It Off, I really like a lot as well.
Yeah, dude, I love all those too, man. That one's got a cool, like, little punky kind of vibe to it. So that one's
right.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Death Home too. That one, I'd say, you know, is up there as well. Fucking, it's a nice ripper to play.
Yeah, that's a cool fucking song, man. But
yeah.
Toward the end of the album, there are back-to-back songs. One titled Narc and one called Crack Ant.
Yep.
What the fuck is going on there?
I guess I never really even thought of it like that. Definitely not intentional. You know, like, Narc has really nothing to do with the lyrics at all. I just thought it was a cool song title. And honestly, same thing with Crack Ant. Crack Ant's kind of a funny story, like how we have kind of some trouble naming songs and naming albums and shit like that. But so like if I write a demo or like a riff or something, I'll have to title it. Just, you know, I save it on my Pro Tools or whatever. And I was like, okay, this, to me at the very beginning, it kind of had like a Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats kind of a vibe, which I don't think it really does anymore. But I was like, okay, I don't want to call it like Uncle Acid.
Sure.
A lot of times we'll be like, all right, this is like the Melvin song. This is like the High on Fire riff, whatever. So we name it after, like, you know, bands that we think it might be sounding like. And Uncle Acid kind of came up, and I'm like, what's the opposite of Uncle Acid? I'm like, oh, it's the Crack Ant. And, you know, Crack Aunt, I guess some people from the East Coast would say, but Crack Ant is how we got that name. But I think it's a cool title. It's kind of funny, you know, so it's like, fuck it.
The story behind it is fucking great. I love that.
Hell yeah, dude. But you know, someone might have an aunt who's a crackhead, so you know, maybe
we're here for you.
Yeah, dude. Listen to that song. Maybe it'll mean something completely
That's
different.
what it fucking, you know, that's why you don't want to be specific about what the song means. Take it and run with it. So you guys are like, the wording is pretty consistent in how you guys talk about yourselves with being dedicated to compelling songwriting. And, you know, to some degree, everybody says something like that, but not with such specificity and continuance as you guys seem to. So how often in the writing process do you just turn around and look at somebody and say, you know what, this is too fucking simple, this is too fucking boring, this is too typical, scrap it?
It happens those are good conversations to have, you know, internally. I think it's like typically like the writing process for us, like how it's been the last couple records. Like I'll write like the main chunks of it and record it, send it to the band and get their input, and then we'll jam it live, and then shit will go through like, you know, different filters through the different members, and naturally it'll evolve and change into what it, you know, is now. But yeah, we always have those conversations, like especially with myself, like, is this even good enough to like I think artists and like musicians specifically are pretty self-conscious, and you know, you're releasing something that's like super personal and something that you create, like always that kind of sense of like, is this even good enough? Like am I worthy? Fuck it, just send it. You know,
Right.
I took me all week to do, so I might as well just send it to my dudes. And you know, we'll have those constructive conversations as a group. And you know, I think with this record, I kind of wanted to do like a less is more kind of, you know, songwriting structure, where it's pretty, you know, they're pretty shorter songs, I guess, for the most part. You know, the song structures are fairly, you know, like verse chorus, bridge, you know, shit like that. Throw a bunch of ripping guitar solos in there and call it a day. Didn't really want to overthink it, and kind of go back to just you know, a standard rock and roll structure. And I think it helped kind of evolve us from the last couple records, maybe, where they were very like, I mean, it's still like cinematic, but the last couple records I think were pretty, you know, ethereal kind of vibe, jammy and shit. But I really wanted to kind of confine it a little bit and dumb it down a little bit, just to, you know, to try with this one. And you know, we took it to our producer too. We went to Kurt Ballou and Zach Weeks, and they helped us too, you know, go through that filter. You know, we go through the band member filter, and then we take it to the recording studio, and it's like shit changes there too. So, you know, what we start with is pretty different to what
Where it ends up.
we end up recording.
The how do you decide when a song or an album, for that matter, is done?
Yeah, it's never easy. You know, I think we try to come up with like, I don't know, 12 to 15 songs or ideas or general structures of songs, and pick like the best 40-ish minutes, really. So really it's always music first, you know. Music comes first, and it's like, it's, you know, once that feels interesting enough, just the music, I'll throw vocals over it, vocal melodies, harmonies, and then really once I feel like this is an interesting enough vocal melody over the song, I'll just be like, screw it, it's done. Let's just move on to the next one. Didn't try to overthink this one a lot. I think the last, like I was kind of hinting at, the last couple ones, I think maybe we kind of thought a little too much about them, but you know, even like with recording too, it's like always like the first one or two takes of anything you're recording is typically like the best. And you're always gonna, it's okay to have like those imperfections in it, I think, and to even keep some like fuck ups or maybe not such great takes in the record, I think is cool. Gives it a different like life to it, I think. So it's really just like, all right, good enough, move on.
It's funny you say that, because I think it's Blue City, where one of the verses comes back and the guitar doesn't start until like the second or third bar of the verse. And I love that odd ass change, but was that planned, or was that, I missed it.
That was all Kurt. That was all Kurt Ballou.
No shit.
He was like, I remember we were recording guitars, and like we were on that, I think it's the second chorus you're talking about. We were on that second chorus. He just hits stop, and he just turns around in his chair like this. And he's like, I think we just need feedback here. And I was like, okay, cool, let's fucking try it. And he's like, we can always change it in post. Like, let's just record it now, just see how it sounds. And honestly, like, it was like, I think it was like a split decision. Like, two of us didn't like it, and 2 of us liked it. So we were like, all right, fuck it. Kurt Ballou tells us we should have feedback. We should fucking just listen to him. So, like listen to the boss, man. Like,
right.
And I love that shit. It's like one of my favorite parts on the record.
It is really fucking cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's cool how you picked up on that, because that was definitely not planned. I think it adds so much to that song, and it's badass.
It's like the type of thing that where the song itself is cool and everything. Like I said, it's my favorite damn song on there, and that one fucking part just kind of like jars you back into it. Like, wait, what the fuck? Oh, and there's the guitar. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I think it would be so much more boring to go the safe route and just play the whole fucking chorus again. So it definitely keeps the listener on their toes a little bit. Like, maybe everyone has 10-second-itis these days. It's like, skip it, fuck it. All right, that's cool. I like that. Next song. But when you hear that, you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Right.
So
that's really fucking cool, man. What was it like working with Kurt?
It was great, man. It was. We wanted to change things up when we had like a good amount of songs. We were like, all right, we need to like figure out what we're gonna record, because like, good engineers their schedules are backed up, and we hit them up because we were working with Dave Otero the past couple of records, and he's fantastic. He's one of the best metal engineers in the country, and he's just down the street, so it's so convenient for us. We don't have to travel. We like to change shit up every record. We don't want everything to sound the same, so we're like, what if we try and hit up Kurt? And schedules worked out great. We got in because he had like a last minute cancellation, so we got in early, and schedule just matched up, and we showed up in September of 2023. I think we were there for like 12 days or so, and he was super cool. It was very intimidating because Kurt's done a bunch of records that we're humongous fans of, and he's in Converge, one of our favorite bands. Sure. So it was definitely intimidating, but the first time meeting him and just talking to him before we showed up, he's just he was just cool. He's just a fan of all types of music, and he made us feel like he made us feel comfortable, like we belonged there, and had some great ideas too. So it was 10 out of 10 experience.
Fuck yeah,
for
man.
Sure.
He's one of those guys that like, he's done so many cool ass albums. He's like, apparently he there's you guys' album and any amount of known bands that he's done where the albums are just so fucking great, let alone Converge stuff. Apparently, he's done an album with a band that I personally fucking adore that is little known, called Generation of Vipers, that is supposed to come out later this year.
Oh, really?
Like,
okay, I'm not familiar.
Does.
Yeah, he'll work with anybody. He's got to want to do it, and it's got to make sense. But like, it's like he doesn't care how many Instagram followers you got.
Right.
If you're down and I'm down, let's make this happen.
He's one of those dudes that I feel like he's got like. I feel like his days might be like 32 hours long, where the rest of us have to deal with 24. Like, somehow he does so much and gets so much fucking shit done. Anyways, back to you. How would you describe the evolution of the band from I knew I was going to fucking stumble on this.
Everyone fucks it up.
Lust, Love, Loss to Blue City.
Yep. Yeah. We that record came out 10 years ago, so we were just a bunch of young, dumb kids trying to play rock and roll, and we started as a 3-piece. We didn't really know how to sing, so we started as like, this sludge, hardcore noise rock, but still had that kind of post-rock, melodic tendencies in there. We kind of started off like way heavier and more noisy. And throughout the process, throughout the our career, we just kind of, like I was saying earlier, we don't want to release the same record every time. So we just you can gradually hear the progression through each record to where we're at now, which I think is kind of cool. And someone was telling me when they listened to Blue City that This one, it doesn't remind me of it reminds me of so many different bands, which we always get, which is great. But it reminds me of just a culmination of all your past records, which I thought was really cool. It's kind of like a melting pot of all our records. It's still heavy. It's still got the post-rocky shoegaze shit kind of in there. But yeah, it's just fun to kind of hear, where we were in the beginning to where we're at now. I would have never thought this is where I wanted to be, 10 years ago. But, we really took a leaning on, vocal hooks, the past 3 records and really kind of put the vocals as the main kind of highlight and really try to figure out how to sing. And I think we're, it's always a work in progress, but I think we're in where we are where we want to be right now. So
sure.
We're very, very happy with where we're at.
That's awesome. You speak of comparisons there. What comparisons did you get in the start and what do you get now?
Yeah. So good question, man. Beginning, we got a lot of like Unsane, Ken Mode, even Mastodon, Baroness. I feel like every metal band gets that.
Sure. Good point.
Yeah, it's like the lazy thing. Oh, it kind of sounds like
Mastodon.
Mastodon.
This is very...
That's fucking cool. We'll take it.
There's a riff in there. It sounds like Mastodon.
Yeah. But and then recently we started getting a lot of Failure, Hum, Cave In, Torch, those type of bands. And it's funny because I mean someone was mentioning Jane's Addiction too. We got that kind of 90s alternative music kind of a vibe, which I love hearing everyone's reminds me of this, reminds me of that, and
sure.
I hear all these different bands coming out. I mean, I've never really even listened to Failure or Hum, and we get that a lot. We're huge Torch and Cave In fans, so naturally I think that's really cool. And those were the 2 bands that Kurt has worked with, which is okay, maybe we can succeed going with Kurt in God City. So yeah, it's cool hearing what people think we remind them of.
And it being such a wide-ranging list, you know what I mean? You go through so many things, and I feel like it's a douchebag thing to do, but I'm going to continue this conversation anyways.
Go for it, dude. You gotta go now.
Well, I mean, I know bands don't want to necessarily be compared to other bands, but I'm going to preface this with the whole, it works for you guys because there's so many things that you guys are, so it kind of works its way around to, that's what makes you original. There are, I can hear some of those bits and pieces that have been mentioned previously, but there are parts in that album where I think that would fit fucking perfectly on an old ISIS album or an old Cult of Luna album.
Yeah. We've been getting a lot of post-rock shit too, ISIS, Cult of Luna, even Mogwai, and we love all that shit too. And I think it's like you were saying, it's so cool. It reminds people of so many different genres where I think if you're just a fan of heavy rock in general, I think there's something for anybody to grab onto and enjoy. So give it a shot.
I fucking second the motion again. So was it 2 albums ago that you guys went from a 3-piece to a 4-piece?
We did, yeah, but we recorded that record as a 3-piece, and then the way we recorded it, we absolutely need another guitar player to fill out the sound. So that we got on. That's when we got our 4th member. At that time, it was Patrick Alberts. Now we're with our good buddy Graham Zander. So yeah, being a 4-piece is the way we want to stay because it helps our live sound so much. It gives me freedom too because I don't have to. I'm doing a bunch of tap dancing and guitar soloing and singing at the same time. I can kind of lay off a little bit, and I know I got Graham to, fill out our sound, which is a hell of a relief. I
believe it. I think this is your first album with Blues Funeral, right?
First album with Blues Funeral, yeah.
How'd that come together, and how's it going?
It's great, man. They've done so many good things for us. Yeah, we we actually reached out to them through our friends in a great Denver band called Hastronaut that just came out with a record on Blues Funeral. They're like a cool stoner band from here, and just through them, we got in touch with the label, and yeah, they've been so great to us, got us some really great opportunities lined up, and the promotion that they've been doing, and just the vinyl selection, layout, all that shit has been a dream. So we're so happy with the partnership.
Yeah, they seem like they're fucking perfect in so many ways. Like you never hear anybody say anything bad about those guys. They do a lot of really cool shit. They work with a lot of really cool bands, and everything seems to work out.
Yeah, I mean, they put out like Elder Records, Dead Meadow, Acid King, all those like we're huge fans of all those bands, and just to be, on the same label is a dream for sure. So we're super thrilled with the experience.
There's weird things too, where like bands, I think the example in my head is Spotlights, where Spotlights is on Ipecac, but they did a random ass record with Blues Funeral in between.
Yeah, they did something with that, and yeah, Spotlights is a fantastic band. Yeah, they went out with like Tool, like not too long ago. I'm like, damn, dude, that's great, and yeah, fantastic band. I think Tony from Fatso Jets. No, does he play in that band? I can't remember. But yeah, great band. Yeah, they do a lot of like weird like like one-off things for huge bands. I think they're doing another like Nick from Elder. They just announced today they're doing his new band. I forgot what they're called, but it's like kind of like a solo project thing that they're gonna release. So yeah, just they're killing it, man. They have so many great releases, and like I said, it's just a honor to be on a label with so many good bands.
I may have a continuing conversation going with Nick of Elder about having him back on the show sometime soon, and you may have just given me a reason to continue having that conversation.
There you go.
If so, with the trajectory of you guys and being able to do what you want, and the relationship with Blues Funeral, who's obviously not going to be hounding you about radio success or something like that, would you trade the artistic creativity for the Genie in a Lamp gives you, massive touring success, but you got to write some cookie cutter songs and appeal to the masses?
That's a tough question, man. Our goal each record is to get into the ears of as many people as possible. And it's really tough this day and age, right? Like it's a catch-22 kind of, where it's like, it's a lot easier to release music, but it's harder to stand out. It's harder to make money and be financially comfortable. We all have full-time jobs, the dream is to, do music full time, but we realize, this day and age, that's pretty much far-fetched. But hell yeah, I wanna play in front of a million people, play arenas, whatever, play theaters, man. The goal, like it's funny because like I'm friends with like a lot of people in what we can say are bigger bands, and who do like theater tours, shit like that. Everyone's always trying to level up. I'm talking. I have my brother here like this weekend. Their band's on tour, and they're playing like Webster Hall and shit, and they're like, fuck, we need to level up. They're comparing themselves to like this band and that band and that. I'm like, dude, like we're all like, we want to get to where you're at.
Right.
We want to get to, it's everyone's always trying to level up. So, never want to like, I don't know what the word is, but, to dumb our music down for that success. I know bands do it, and, they get big producers and major label pressure to write, radio hits and shit. But, yeah, man, we want that shit, but, we don't want to release like shitty music.
Sure. The idea is to make the good tunes, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of playing, whatever hall, I know you guys are getting ready to go out on tour, and I think it culminates in a Desert Fest performance, right?
Yeah.
What? Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say, we leave in for our first tour in 2 weeks. we're doing a West Coast loop. I think it's like 16 shows or something like that, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going out with our really good friends from Phoenix called Goya. So if you're not familiar with Goya, they're fucking phenomenal stoner, heavy, kind of electric wizardy shit. That's going to be June 6th through the 21st. And then Desert Fest is going to be in September, and we are going to be touring around that as well. Those other dates haven't been announced just yet, so hopefully within the next month we'll be getting that announced. But we will be in Columbus, so yeah, come down, man.
Fuck yeah, man. Count me in.
They were doing Space Bar in Columbus.
Oh, I love Space Bar. It's so damn loud in there.
Fuck yeah. I think we're playing with Lopan, too, if you're familiar.
Everybody in Columbus is familiar with Lopan, yeah.
Yep, so that's going to be a fun one, for sure.
Columbus with Lopan.
Hell yeah.
At Space Bar. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. I will for sure be there.
And then, I was going to say, like, we're trying to tour a lot more, too, so we just signed on with a new booking agency the last week or so. So, really, our goal is to, hopefully get like a good support slot somehow. But if that doesn't happen, whatever, we'll be touring through 2025 as well. So we'll just keep your eyes peeled on our socials for some dates.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll get you through the 2-year cycle back to the next album.
Exactly. That's already in the works, man. We're already writing new stuff.
I fucking believe it, man. How do you describe your music to your family? How do you tell Grandma and Grandpa about? Do you have kids?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Then the most ridiculous thing here is Grandma and Grandpa. How do you describe your music to Grandma and Grandpa?
I just say heavy rock. There's so many like weird subgenres.
I know, it's fucking aggravating.
Yeah, so I just say like, it's like we're in a rock and roll band, but there's so many different, like we were talking about earlier, there's so many different like things that we kind of sound like, where it's like people like to label what they listen to, and like we get a lot of like sludge stoner, which I don't think we're really like that at all. We get like the post rock thing, shoegaze hints. We're not a shoegaze band. We're just like a heavy rock, band. People like to throw out the term grunge, whatever the fuck that means, but I get it. It's like that Northwest kind of like Seattle shit that was popular in the 90s. Yeah, man, heavy rock.
I'm for it.
I guess.
Speaking of all these bands and all these different ways, who are your actual inspirations?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, there was probably like, it was definitely, I'm a huge Mark Lanigan fan, so everything he touches, which is weird because like, Screaming Trees, phenomenal. There's that like 90s grunge shit that I love. That like when I was in high school, that shit wasn't cool. Everyone was listening to like Blink-182, but I was just like, this voice, dude.
Right.
Then I realized he's in Queens of the Stone Age, and then I get in a huge Queens of the Stone Age trip. I mean, Queen, those first, up until like Air Vulgaris are like my favorite records. I still spin. So like anything Lanigan touches, Queens of the Stone Age, and growing up, it was like Mars Volta and At the Drive-In were like huge influences on me, as well as like, the kind of like post-hardcore shit and like Planes Mistaken for Stars, Denver, Chicago band that are super huge on me. But I mean, I love everything that's like heavy, noisy, from like Jesus Lizard to Mets to Sonic Youth.
Gotcha. I see you wearing the shirt.
Yeah, to like, I love those first couple Baroness records. Mastodon. I love Mastodon's new shit, man. Like people like, always the fans want like Blood Mountain again, and like, dude, they're progressing and like they sound so fucking good when they get like Braun singing too. So I love it all, man. If it's heavy and catchy, and I even like folk shit. So it's just like, I like it all.
Whatever strikes the fancy, right?
Yeah, dude.
The Mastodon thing, man. Like I like their newer stuff too. The new album is like I won't sit down with an album if I don't think I can hear it from start to finish. So when you put out something that's an hour and a half long or whatever the fuck that thing is. It's
double
difficult,
records.
but
It's a lot.
I like it and everything. My hot take with Mastodon is that Blood Mountain, no, that is easy. It's easily my least listened to album of theirs.
I'm not a big fan of those earlier records, and like the one that got me into them was Crack the Sky. Like when they got super trippy and psychedelic and still heavy, like Crack the Sky is a masterpiece.
Oh, dude, for sure.
But the new one, the one that came out a couple years ago, is there's some really fucking good songs on it, and like I'm the same way. I think the listening to an album front to back is like almost a lost art these days.
Drives me nuts.
In the 10-second-itis world we live in. But like, I mean, Melancholy, Infinite Sadness, that's a double record too, and there's some. I mean, that's a tough one to sit through, but there's huge hits on that records. So,
yeah, that newest Mastodon album, it ends so strong. Like his last 3 or 4 songs are so fucking good.
Yeah,
and
they're great.
Anyways, how'd you get started on the guitar?
Man, I started really young, maybe before maybe 9 or something. Took lessons. I quit. I quit because it was like I had homework and I wasn't doing my homework, and it's really hard to like learn an instrument and shit. And I remember when I quit, I learned how to read tabs, and I learned like how to play Pearl Jam and Metallica songs, and that's how I got back into it. Kind of like retaught myself. Had supportive parents, and just kind of got obsessed. Just got super obsessed with writing, but also listening, and kind of like seeing these like musicians as like gods. When I was, a young kid, and I was like, God, these guys are just, I want to do that, but I just started super young, stuck with it, love it.
Fuck yeah. I love the idea or the notion of I got started so young and then I fucking quit and came back to it. This is fucking hard. I'm tired of it. Why am I not fucking great at this already?
Yeah, it's frustrating, man, and it's I think the later you wait in life to pick it up, it gets even harder. But the irony of that, like our bass player Taylor, he didn't start playing the bass till he was 18. He basically learned how to play from Guitar Hero. Like he's really fucking good at Guitar Hero. It's like I'm like too good at Guitar Hero. Why didn't I learn how to play the fucking bass? Thank God. He figured out how to play the bass, because that guy can play, man. He's a monster. But yeah, he started late, 18, and he kicks ass.
Learned bass from Guitar Hero.
Get Guitar Hero. There's only 4 strings, right? So it's
right.
Like,
I mean, guitar. As a fucking bass player, I'm gonna say, yeah, no, that kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I mean, they had that actual like Rocksmith thing too, where you could actually plug your and try to learn shit there. But if you can do it with the big plastic 4-button thing,
I guess.
Right? He's going on tour. I'm fucking standing here not doing any damn thing. Good for him.
Get Guitar Hero,
man. Speaking of going on tour, like you've been doing this for a little over a decade now. Are there still moments, and what was the worst moment of like some kind of performance anxiety? I'm fucking some form of fascinated with this idea.
Dude, it happens all the time. So many things can go wrong, gear-wise. Actually, like that just happened. We played our first show since November, like a warm-up gig kind of in Fort Collins at this theater that was cool. But there was like, we didn't get a sound check, and I'm feeling all good. We're really confident in our performance and stuff. But like, I plug my shit in, and immediately my pedal board's not working. I'm like, panic mode. Like we're supposed to go on in like 5 minutes. Like something's just completely wrong. And I'm telling my other guitar player, like, you're gonna have to play guitar, man. Like the whole guitar. I'm gonna have to just sing this set. Like we're fucked. He's like, calm down, dude. Just do this. He helped me out. It happens all the time, man. You know, I don't really get that nervous anymore. There are big shows, like, you know, we opened for Quicksand, and you know, you look out, you're supposed to go on in like 5 minutes, and there's, you know, 500 people there. You know, I mean, probably 1,000 actually. And it's like, fuck, this is gonna blow it. I'm gonna blow it. Totally gonna blow it. But then you get out there and you play it, and you know that first song gets to it, and you're like, all right, this is badass. We're good. Let's keep going. People are digging it. It happens. It happens a lot.
Sure.
But I mean, our headlining shit, like we're playing bars, man. We're playing small clubs, like, which I love, because you know you get like 50 people in a tiny little area, and it's like the energy's there. People are, you know, it's a different vibe than playing, you know, like a bigger venue, I guess, where it can be like a little sparse and people are kind of just like,
right.
He missed a note. You know, people are throwing beer everywhere and shit in the small places. So we like doing that shit, but
more for the party atmosphere.
Yeah.
Is there something that you wish you would have known when you got started?
Yeah. Kind of just like you know, you're always gonna want to level up. You're doing cool shit. Just enjoy the moment, you know. Like, don't take anything for granted, because I was saying earlier, just like, you know, we're really self-conscious. I personally am about like releasing my music into the world, and like, you know, maybe it's not gonna fucking hit the Billboard charts, man. You're not gonna fucking be headlining fucking Red Rocks, you know. If it happens, great, but like, just enjoy that there are people that I can do things like talk to you about shit that I made is like
Sure.
so fucking cool, you know. So just enjoy the moment. It's just we get one chance, you know, at this life, and make cool shit, make cool art, and if people dig it, that's a bonus, man. That's just ice cream.
Fuck yeah, man.
So it's dessert. So just enjoy it, whatever it is.
Hell yeah.
I gotta tell myself that every day, man, because you know, we can play a fucking Wednesday in Tulsa and 10 people will show up. And you gotta be like, fuck, here we go. Like, you're gonna have those shows, man.
Right. I want to remember to write Wednesday in Tulsa just because I love that fucking sentence. Wednesday in Tulsa. Yeah. Fuck. I had a damn question lined up, and I'm so enamored with the sentence Wednesday in Tulsa, I lost it.
It's all good.
All right, give me a second here. Where the hell did I go with this? When you're on tour, what's an average day like when you're on tour?
Driving, dude. We're in a E350, a 12-passenger van crammed in there, just the four of us. No roadies, no merch person. So, and in Denver, especially in Denver, we're on an island, and touring the West Coast is pretty difficult because everything's, you know, in 6 to 10 hour drive. So it's a lot of driving. It's a lot of fuck, marry, kill in the van. You know, talking stupid shit in the van with your friends. Getting really terrible gas station coffee, having to take dumps in terrible fucking gas stations. But we love that shit, man. Like, it definitely takes a certain personality to leave the comforts of your home, your nice little apartment in Denver, and to be going to a place where we don't know where we're going to crash. You know,
Wednesday in Tulsa.
Wednesday in Tulsa. Sleep on the floor. We slept on like stages, you know, and tattoo parlor stages that we play, and it's just gross places, and we get crazy fucking stories from it, and it's just a legendary experience that, like, you never know what's gonna happen, and it's always coming home. You're so sad that last day. You know, once you get into the swing of things, you're like, fuck. It's over.
Right.
Like, all right, well, we're going to go out again in September. That's cool. Something to look forward to. So,
sure.
Day-to-day is just a lot of driving, a lot of shitty food, but a lot of laughs.
what's the? We'll do this one last thing here, and then we'll wrap it around into the stupid ass way that I end these things. What's the dumbest, funniest, most ridiculous tour story? What's the the worst bathroom or some shit like that?
All right, there's a couple.
Give it to me. I'm here for it.
Speaking of Tulsa, we played a DIY. That's why it comes to mind. We played a DIY spot. I can't remember what it's called, but we get there and it just smells. It's 100 fucking degrees, and it just smells like dog piss, cat piss, and it was like the second day of tour. Like, we got a fucking 3-4 week tour to do a whole East Coast run, and there's probably like 10-15 kids there, and while we're playing, like, people are like sitting on the ground and like doing stick and poke tattoos.
What the fuck?
And like, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And like, this is like when we were playing like really heavy, like noisy shit, and like the whole crowd is just like giving each other like stick and poke tattoos. That was wild. They're like, you guys can totally crash here. We got a hotel.
Right.
That one always sticks out as like the weirdest fucking place. But we also pulled a almost famous moment where we left our bass player at a gas station in Kansas, and we realized that about 2 exits down the highway, we get a call from Taylor. He's like, "Where the fuck should you guys go?" I'm like, "We look, he's not in the fucking van. We left Taylor at the gas station." That was probably coming. I think that was coming home from that same tour. So everyone's just exhausted, just like beat to shit. We forgot our bass player in Kansas. So just stupid shit like that.
I fucking love it. We forgot our
The
bass
scene
player.
in Almost Famous where they leave Jason Lee. He's like, "You forgot me? I'm only the fucking lead singer." It was that same moment.
Just for my own fucking curiosity, you mentioned earlier about working your day-to-day job and the routine with that, and then going on a 4 or 5 week tour. How the fuck does that work?
I'm lucky. So I work remotely from home. If I have to work from the road, I can. I really don't want to do that, but typically, like, I have a shit ton of like paid time off that I saved up. But working from the road happens, which is terrible.
I believe it.
But we sacrifice that we do, and my boss is super cool. He's actually a fan. He's going to come to our show in LA.
Fuck yeah.
So he's super supportive of what I do, and the other guys, some have tougher, work restrictions, which kind of sucks with the touring schedule, but we end up working it out and, making it work because we just love doing it.
That's awesome, man. We're going to pull this around into the goofy ass way that we end these things.
Okay.
We'll start that with an allegedly rapid fire round of questions. The first one being coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Of course.
Black.
All right. I'm with you. What's something you could eat for a week straight?
In-N-Out.
Beatles or Stones?
Stones.
Stones, every time. Simpsons or Family Guy?
What was that?
Simpsons or Family Guy?
Simpsons.
You're doing all right so far. What's the fastest you've ever driven?
90.
90?
Don't go over 90.
Don't go over 90. Don't go over 90 in a specific vehicle or period?
In our E350, that's for damn sure, man. That's fucking holy.
If a turtle were clothes, would it wear it under the shell or over the shell?
Over the shell.
All right.
Yeah.
You're going Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on me, aren't you?
There you go.
Beer or liquor?
Both.
All right. I'll give you that.
Beer and a shot.
Gotcha. If you were playing someone in a movie, who would you play in a movie?
Frank from Old School.
We're going drinking.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, that lends itself to the whole both thing, doesn't it?
I love these.
Scale of 1 to 10 here, Mr. Alcohol. How good are you at keeping secrets?
Oh man, yeah. If I'm drinking, I'm terrible. I'm a fucking gossip queen, man. Don't tell me your secrets. As they say in Yiddish, yenta.
I actually just heard that fucking term just earlier today on a stupid sports talk show. That's fucking weird.
No shit.
I'm writing fucking yenta down. Nobody's gonna understand why, but I wrote it down.
There you go.
Woods or the ocean?
Ocean.
All right. Go-to karaoke song.
Mother by Danzig.
Ah! give me just a quick taste.
Fuck no, I'm terrible. I can't do it, dude. That voice, I can't do it. You know what I want to do though? I'm gonna do like a fucking Slaves and Bulldozers.
Fuck yeah!
I'm gonna go for it, then I'll blow my voice out for the rest of the tour. So
right.
We'll see how that.
So one of the last stops. That's fuck yeah, man. That'd be fucking awesome. That's a great song. You gotta do the feedback for like fucking 12 minutes, like they did too.
Yeah, the crowd's gonna hate it.
Last one here: sausage links or patties?
Patties.
You're damn right. You did fucking excellent on that. I don't think people understand that this isn't necessarily opinion based. This is right or wrong answers.
This is factual. Yeah.
Yeah, and you did pretty fucking well there. So the last thing here before we go into the big thank yous and all that good stuff, is the very original, nobody's ever considered this question before. It's only asked here question. So I'm glad you're sitting down. You, Zach of Abrams. I am saying that right. It is Abrams, right?
Yep.
All right.
Correct.
You're sent to an island by yourself for the rest of your life. You get to take one album with you. What is it?
Bubblegum by the Mark Lanigan Band.
Fucking good call, man. I think I've said this before on this stupid fucking podcast. The like kind of, I don't necessarily know that it's kind of like what you're doing with the Albini thing, but I knew I liked Mark Lanigan, like the Queens of the Stone Age stuff and just random songs here and there, Hit the City and shit like that I would hear. I knew I liked, but I never really took the deep dive. So when he died, I went through and made just this fucking massive playlist.
Yeah.
And I hit shuffle on that motherfucker without thinking about it so often and just let it go. Like some of the super folksy stuff, some of the Screaming Tree stuff, Queen stuff. He did a lot of really great shit.
That's the best. Everything sounds just so different, you know, from the Screaming Trees, Gutter Twins, the solo shit, the Isabel Campbell stuff. Like,
right.
It's just a huge variety of, you know, from heavy fucking songs for the dead to like folk songs that'll make you cry.
Dude, he was so fucking great. Did you read his book?
Oh yeah, man. That's a fucked up
That's
book.
a fucked up book, man. It's like there are a couple really great stories in there, but for the most part, it's
a hard read, but I couldn't put it down. I mean, the Cool Lane stories.
Right.
Yeah, dude, it was, it gives me goosebumps now just like thinking about like I'm just so glad we have his music.
Sure, man.
I'm surprised he lived that long, honestly.
Right. Even the Mad Season stuff, like I can't believe we went that far without mentioning that stuff. It's the story in the book where he's talking about writing Long Gone Day, where him and Lane are just trading off lines.
Yeah.
So good.
So good, dude.
Anyways.
Great.
Thanks, man. It's been a lot of fun talking with you today. As I said at the beginning of the show, if you're not listening to the new Abrams album, which is called Blue City, you are doing it wrong, and you should go listen to that loudly as soon as this show ends. Be sure to follow Abrams and the podcast on all the socials. There should be links for all these things in the show description from wherever you're listening to this from. And speaking of wherever you're listening to this from, hit that there subscribe button. I'm going to guess you know what that means, but I'm going to keep saying things and tell you that if you subscribe, that means that whenever there's a new show, it'll pop right up for you, completely free of charge. So fucking why not? Just push the damn button. Continual thanks to the Brimming Horn guys for partnering with us. Get you some delicious mead from them as soon as possible, and then drink it and send me drunk text messages. Now that I've said all that, I'm going to toss it back over to you there, Zach, to introduce Firewaltz for us and get us out of here right.
This is Fire Waltz by Abrams.